Hello and welcome to Vegan Cafe 21. Today we are making a vegan version of traditional rice pudding. So let me walk you through the ingredients. We will use 1.5 cups of Basmati rice. In this bowl I have rice that has already been washed and it's ready for us to use. I have soaked 8 pitted dates. So I just took medjool dates, removed the pits, and soak them in 1/2 cup of water. They've been soaking for about 2 hours. In this cup I have about 7 or 8 green cardamoms, few strands of saffron, and a plate full of assorted nuts. I'm using 1/2 cup of chopped raw almonds, 1/2 cup of raw cashews that have been split in half, and about 1/4 cup of chopped pistachios. These are unsalted pistachios. You can choose any assortment of nuts that you like. These happen to be my favorite. We are going to use some for garnishing and add some in our prepared pudding. I'm also using 1 cup of sugar. You can adjust sugar to your desired level of sweetness, add more or less of it. It's better to start with less and then give it a taste, and then you can add more. I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of raisins. You can use golden raisins if you prefer and if you have them available. We are going to prepare our pudding in about 7.5 cups of almond milk. So for 1.5 cups of long grain basmati rice, I'm using 7.5 cups of almond milk. We can adjust the consistency once our pudding is done. If you want your pudding to be thicker, you can boil it a little longer. If you want it thinner, you can add more almond milk to get the desired consistency. All right, so let's get started. I have placed this large pot on medium flame. To this pot, we are going to bring in our ingredients. So I'm going to start with 1/2 cup of rice. So I'm going to add this 1/2 cup into this blender. To it, I'm going to add just enough almond milk to get the rice going. You just want to break up the rice a little bit. That should be good. Now I'm going to add this to our pot. In the same blender jar, I'm going to add our dates. We'll start with 1 or 2 dates at a time. The idea is to create a date puree. If you need, you can add a little bit of almond milk to help the dates break up. You don't want to add too many dates all at once, otherwise they are not going to move in your blender. So just dates in pieces, 1 at a time or 2 should be good. We're also going to use the water that we've been soaking our dates in, so you can also add a little bit of that water at a time. So here in this jar, we have our date puree ready to go. Come back to our pot. So we're going to add our remaining rice and our almond milk. Now we can increase the flame to speed up the boiling process. We'll stir it a little bit and allow it to come to a boil. In this mortar, I have the powder of cardamoms. So all you do is take these cardamoms, break open the pods with the help of your pestle, remove the seeds, and then you can pound them into this fine powder. So I already have started doing that. So I'm going to take about 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom seed powder and add that to our rice and almond milk mixture. Give it a stir. We can also add our date puree to this mix at this point. You don't want to add water to this mix. So we're just going to use some of this almond milk to help us get all of our date mixture out of this blender jar. As you can see, our rice, almond milk, and date mixture has started to boil. We have been stirring it every couple of minutes to avoid it from sticking to the bottom of this pot and burning. Now that it has come to a boil, we can lower the heat. But before that, I'm going to add our strands of saffron in it. Give it a stir. Now we'll turn our heat to low and put a lid on this pot. You don't want to shut it tight. You want to leave it sort of cracked open a little bit. And now let it do its thing for about 20-25 minutes till the rice is done cooking. So it has been 25 minutes since our pudding has been on this low flame. Let's see how it's doing. Nice. Our rice is nicely cooked and it has thickened up quite a bit. And remember, we have not added sugar to this pudding yet. So give it a nice stir. Don't be shy, just go at it, because we do want to break up the rice and keep it nice and creamy. So mix it a few times. And if it looks too thick to you, you can add more milk to it at this point. So I'm going to bring in about half a cup of almond milk and add this for now. Give it a mix and also give it a taste before you add any sugar to this at all, so you know how much sugar you want to add. I'm going to give it a quick taste test. All right, so it's very mildly sweet because of the dates. I'm going to go ahead and add half of the sugar that we started out with. Give it a stir. Also add our raisins. Now I'm going to add half of our almonds and just a few, I would say half of our cashews. Mix those in. We are reserving the rest of our nuts to garnish individual servings. Mix it and give it a quick taste test again. I think it can use a full cup of sugar. Now comes the fragrance in our pudding. I am going to add to this pot of rice pudding 1.5 tablespoons of rose water. So that's what I have here. Let's go ahead and add that. This brings such wonderful aroma. Adjusting the consistency to your desired level is up to you. You can add as much almond milk as you like from this point forward to get the desired thickness. And I like to serve my rice pudding chilled, so it is going to thicken as it cools down, so keep that in mind as well. You can ladle it into bowls, garnish it with chopped nuts, and it's ready for you to enjoy. But if you want to chill it, I would add a little more almond milk because it will thicken as it cools. All right. So for those of us who want to enjoy it warm, I'm going to fix a bowl, and the rest of it goes in the refrigerator till it gets nice and cold for us to enjoy later. There you have it, a delicately sweet, fragrant, creamy vegan rice pudding. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon with more vegan versions of our traditional favorites.